God saw that on the ground the wickedness of man is great, and all day long it's just thinking bad intentions. God regrets that he made man on the earth, and the sad in his heart. God says, I will erase from the earth the man I have created. From humans to cattle, animals that crawl on the ground, and birds of the sky, I regret making them. But you are pleased with God. This is my grandfather's family. You are a righteous man, perfect between people at the same time, and you go with God. He raised Be'ah's son is Cam and Japheth. The land is corrupt before God and full of violence. God looked at the earth and saw that it was ruined. For all flesh has followed a corrupt way of life on the earth. God speaks to you. I've decided to put an end to all criminals. Because of them, the land is full of violence. We are going to destroy them with the earth. Make yourself a ship of cypress wood. You will make ships with compartments, and take the black plastic and seal it inside and out. You're going to make a boat like this 150 yards long, width 25 yards, height 15 meters. You will make a boat and put the hood half a meter above the ship. The door of the ship you shall set on the side. You will be downstairs, middle floor and upper floor. Our part is about to flood. It means that water floods the earth to destroy all living flesh under heaven. Every species on earth will die, but I will make my covenant with you. Go into your ship with your sons, your wife and the wives of your sons, in every creature. You'll bring into the ship a pair of every kind. Keep them alive with you. There must be one male and one female in each bird. Each type of cattle, every kind of animal that crawls on the ground, every couple will come to you. Let you keep them alive. Your part. Take everything you can eat and store it for yourself. It will be your food and theirs. My grandfather did that. Do as God has commanded you. Creation chapter 7. The Lord told your servants to enter the ark, you and your family. For I see that you are just before me. In this generation, in all clean animals, male and female, in unclean animals, a pair of males and females. Drum and roof to keep the breed all over the ground, because to the ground for 40 days and 40 nights, and I will destroy from the face of the earth all that I have made. He did as God commanded. He was 600 years old when the flood hit. It means that the flood is happening on the ground. To avoid flood waters, he was raised on a ship with his sons. his wife and the wives of his sons, in clean animals and unclean animals, in all the birds and all the animals that crawl on the ground. Every pair of males and females come to the slave and enter the boat, as God commanded Noah 7 days later. The flood waters overflowed on the ground 600 years of his life. February 17th of that month. On that day, all the springs of the great abyss burst. The open sky sewers rained down on the ground 40 days, 40 nights. That very day, he entered the ship with his sons, who had seen him, leave permission with them. He had his wife and 3 wives of his sons, as well as all animals, all livestock. All animals crawl on the ground, every bird. Everything has wings. They came to Noah on the ship. Every pair of every mortal has life. They go into one male and one female of all flesh. They went in as God had commanded them. God closed the door after he came in. The flood lasted for 40 days on the ground, increased water and raised the ship. The ship is higher than the ground. Water rises and rises more on the ground, and ships floating on the water. There's more and more water on the ground, and all the high mountains everywhere under the sky are covered. The water rose 7 meters higher than the mountain, and the mountain was covered. Every moving body on the ground dies. Birds, cattle, animals. Everything is moving on the ground and everyone. All species have life in their nostrils. All species on land are dead. God destroyed everything on earth, from humans to cattle, animals that crawl on the ground and birds of the sky. They're wiped off the ground. There was only Noah and what was in the boat with him. Water rises above the earth for 150 days. Creation chapter 8. God remembers Noah, all the animals and all the animals in the boat with him. God sends the wind across the earth, and the water descends into the veins of the abyss, and the sewers are closed. The rain slowly recedes from the ground. After 150 days, the water goes down. On July 17th of that month, the ship docked in the mountains of Ararat. The water keeps going down until October, and a tenth of the peaks appear. For 40 days Noah opened the window he had made on the ship, and he let the crow go. It flies out and back and forth until the water is dry on the ground. Then from the ship he released the dove to see if the water has dropped on the ground, but the pigeon couldn't find a foothold. Return to the ship with you, because there's water all over the ground. Then he raised his hand and took it and brought it into the ship. You wait another 7 days and let the pigeon out of the boat again. In the afternoon the dove returned to him, and there in the mine was a branch of fresh olive leaf. Noah knew that the water had fallen on the ground. He waited another 7 days, then released the pigeon. But it doesn't come back to you. Year 601 of his life, January on the first day of the month. The water is dry on the ground. He lifted off the roof of Raw and saw that the ground was dry. On February 27th, the land was dry. God said to the boy, "Get out of the boat with your wife, your sons and the wives of your sons. All animals are with you, everything that is physical. Birds, cattle, all kinds of animals that crawl on the ground. Take them out with you. They have to stay on the ground. have to multiply a lot on the ground. He got out of the boat with his sons, his wife and the wives of his sons, every animal, every bird. Everything that crawls on the ground gets out of the boat by breed. He built an altar to honor God. He took some of the clean cattle and clean birds. He offered a burnt offering on the altar. God smells good. And God said to himself, I will never curse the land. Because of people too. People think bad things from a young age, but will never again kill every living thing, as we did, as long as this land is in harvest. It's cold and it's hot, thinning and freezing. Day and night will never stop changing. Creation chapter 9. God's blessing to Noah and his children. And he spoke to them, let's multiply and fill the earth. Every bird of the sky. All animals crawl on the ground, and all the fish of the sea will be afraid of you. They are delivered into your hands. All species are mobile and alive. It will be food for you. However, you must not eat meat with its life. That is blood. But I will require every animal to pay for your blood. That is your life. I will ask people to pay for their blood. I will demand everyone. He must pay for the life of his brother. If anyone spills human blood, it will be shed by humans. Because God made man in the image of God. Be fruitful and multiply for your part. Let land overflow and bloom a lot on the ground. God speaks to you. Your children are with you. Here I make my covenant with you, with your descendants after you, and all living things are with you. The birds and the animals are with you. It means that everything in the boat goes out, including the wild animals. I make my covenant with you. All mortals will no longer be destroyed by the flood water. There will be no flood to destroy the earth again. God says, this is the sign of the covenant that I have made between me and you, and with every creature that is with you. It will be a sign of our covenant with the earth. When we send clouds to the ground, and the bow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant with you, and with every creature, that is, with all flesh. And the water will no longer be a flood, to destroy all flesh. To remember the eternal covenant, 9 between God and all creatures, that is, with all flesh on the earth. God speaks to you. It is the sign of the covenant I have made between me and all flesh on earth. His sons came out of the ship, and permission. Ham is the father of Canaan. This man is the son of Noah, and their descendants scattered all over the earth.